was embarrassing for Brandon. That was embarrassing.
All right, let's talk some basketball now. The newest Laker, Andre Drummond, ready to make an impact, says he hopes to cause havoc down in the paint. I'm going to go to Brandon first on this one. Hey, Brandon.
Here we go.
Drummond's role with the Lakers will be blank.
Oh, a decade too late, Jenna. Look, this is old school basketball. I love this talk, but at the end of the day, this is not going to win the Lakers a championship. Now, he's going to give you 10 boards, 12 boards, and that's great. But the game is played on the perimeter. There's only two bigs in the NBA today that's really game-changing and doing things that we haven't seen in 8-10 years. And that's Jokic out in Denver, and that's Embiid out in Philly. But those guys are still averaging 42+% from the three-point line, from the perimeter. So I love this talk because this is the way I loved to play basketball back in the day. But he's a decade late, Nick. Like, this is not going to get the job done out in L.A.
Well, I think it's very, very specific what his role will be. His role will be rebounding. That's it. Those 17 points per game he was averaging in Cleveland, wave goodbye to those. It probably won't even be 7 in LA. But he is, if you get into the nerdy numbers of it, he is one of the most prolific rebounders in modern NBA history. He actually has the highest rebounding rate in NBA history. And the Lakers are built on defense, and a defensive possession does not end until you secure the rebound. So he will be useful there. Unfortunately for the Lakers, he will not be useful in the NBA Finals against the Sixers because Embiid has eaten his lunch for 6 years in this league. But until they get to the Finals against the Sixers, he'll be a relevant piece for them.
Gosh. That was a lot of takes there. That was like the Russian nesting doll takes. There's just kept on coming here. Hey, I'm going to say it was goal-worthy. Old Andre Drummond, go Huskies, from UConn days, put up this tweet, unearthed 10 years ago. Said, hey, one of my goals in life is to meet and play with or against King James. Okay. You know what? We should have known he was going to the Lakers all along. Although if you just want to play against him, that goal was already accomplished. But now you get to play with him, too, so check the box. Go Huskies.
Oh, sorry, I had to raise my hand because Wild's bonus take on take. Speaking of things that can come back, your old buddy Paul Pierce's take that Drummond should have gone before Anthony Davis in the draft. Now they get to play together. We can see who's better. That was a great take from your friend, Drummond versus Anthony Davis. Now we get to see it.
Can I get a bonus take?
Yeah.
Can I get a bonus take before we go?
Why not?
Always.
Let me try this again.
Segment that never
Let me
ends.
try
Go
this
for
again.
it,
Here we go.
Gosh, I hope for the sake of the show this works.
We got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
That was easy. That slow rotation. You did
That
that
would have been
slow,
embarrassing.
and you know it. Low degree of difficulty.
Hey, Clippers and Bucks. Clippers dominated last night without Paul George. Didn't need him for this one. So what does this mean for Giannis in Milwaukee? First things first. Takes, Nick. First things first, time for drawing a blank. So it looks like the 49ers are going to take a quarterback with that number 3 pick. But tight end George Kittle says, quote, I want Jimmy G as my quarterback. Don't beat around the bush, buddy. Tell us how you feel. Hey, Brandon, Kittle backing Garoppolo is blank.
Oh, this is Band of Brothers. This is the locker room. This is what happens when you go to battle with your brothers week in and week out. And then also you got to look at George Kittle. You know, he's had a lot of success, and his success came, a lot of it came from that guy, Jimmy Garoppolo. It reminds me of Jay Cutler. In 2014, we were going into the season, and I was negotiating a contract, and things weren't moving fast enough, so we asked for a trade. The New England Patriots stood up and said, you know what, let's go get Brandon Marshall. And then I saw Jay Cutler spinning it. He was looking amazing in our offseason program. I said, oh, my goodness, I can't leave my brother. He's going to have an MVP year. And then everything imploded the next year. And then what happened in New England? They went on to win the Super Bowl in 2015. I will never forget that moment. Yeah. This is Kittle, man, just being who he's supposed to be, a great teammate, Nick.
Hold on. Before I give my answer, I think Wilds wants to follow up with some questions. Wilds, go ahead. I'll give my answer in a moment. Go ahead. Inquire here, Wilds.
So this is 2015. So Tom Brady has been playing for 14 years at this point and won multiple Super Bowls. And rather than go to New England, the greatest franchise in the history of all sports, you saw Jay Cutler spinning it in practice, and you said, "Oh, I got to get back to Jay Cutler rather than Tom Brady."
If you saw him in practice, you would have been like, "Oh my goodness, this is the second coming of freaking
they should
Aaron Rodgers, man. This dude was amazing." Oh man,
it was Tom Brady. It was Tom Brady.
I know.
It was no Jay
Brandon's
Cutler.
defense.
Brady's no Cutler.
In Brandon's defense, the Patriots hadn't won a Super Bowl in a decade at that point. They were just about to go win 3 of the next 5. So it had been a long time since they had won one, and Brandon liked the Jay Cutler option. I'm saying this is not going to age well. And here's what I mean. This sounds like high praise. Oh, I want Jimmy G as my quarterback. Wait till you hear the quotes we're going to get from Kittle on whatever rookie they draft. Oh my God, the arm talent. Oh my God, I can't believe this guy's ability. I can't believe he was there at 3.
Can't do it.
It's like when someone's in a mediocre relationship and you talk to them. It's like, hey, how's it going? It's like, oh, everything's good. You know, she's a great partner. It's good. Fills in my blanks, those things. And then they break up and there was something new. It's like, oh my, let me tell you about her. She's unbelievable. Funniest person I've ever met. So beautiful, so much fun. Oh my, you can't wait till you meet her. That's what Kittle's going to say when he gets a real quarterback here soon in the draft. So I don't think these comments are going to age well, Wilds.
You think he's going to make a Zach Wilson t-shirt? You think he's going to make a Trey Lance t-shirt so big you can put it over your shoulder pads and wear it to your post-game press conferences? I don't. I think this is true love, my friend. I don't think he's looking to upgrade. He came on this very show and said that he loved Jimmy G and wants him to be his quarterback. George Kittle is a loyal guy. In fact, when Jimmy G comes to New England, straight up, Hunter Henry. You can send Hunter Henry out there and back to California. We'll take Kittle, but too, so they can stay together. So good. We like to 2 tight ends, not 3. We'll send Hunter Henry back to California. We'll take Kittle, who's the new Gronk, belongs in New England anyway.
Clearly. Let's talk some Saints now. They seem to be moving forward with Jameis Winston, assuming he can hold off Taysom Hill. Winston, known as a gunslinger, but says game manager. It's not a bad label. So, Brandon, Jameis cozying up to the idea of being a game manager is blank.
It's game-changing, Jenna. And Nick, we don't see eye to eye on quarterbacks. But I'm telling you right now, buddy, and I've been saying it for 2 weeks. This is the 3rd week me talking about this kid in New Orleans. Come all in with me, man. I'm telling you right now, Baker Mayfield, we can battle next year. Every week we can battle during the season. We can battle against the kid out in Buffalo. We can battle. We can battle about Tom Brady. But I'm telling you right now, you need to go all in on Jameis Winston. He has it. He spent the year down there with Coach Payton and under Drew Brees. He's going to go to a game-changing dude because you got to go back to 2019. Every time I talk about it, I'm just going to look at 2019, 5,100 yards. 33 touchdowns. I know it's 30 interceptions, but if he's going to a game manager, now those interceptions are cut in half. And now we're talking about him potentially as the MVP next year. Nick, go all in with me, man.
MVP.
Go all in with me, Nick.
Brandon, wow. I love the emotion and the passion. Brandon, I think, said that he and I don't see eye to eye on Jameis, which is an interesting turn of phrase because in that 2019 season, that was Jameis's exact problem. He saw eye to eye with all of his receivers, stared them down for 15 seconds, and then threw a pick that went the other way. So I say this is wishful thinking. This is a guy who has always played a certain way, saying he's going to undergo a massive transformation. I would take you back to his last year in college, when, by the way, that Florida State team was so stacked after going undefeated and winning the championship the previous year. All they really needed was him to be a game manager, and he couldn't do it. I think he threw 18 picks that year. I am rooting for this to work, Nick, because I think it would be fascinating, but to me, it is overly optimistic and wishful thinking.
Nick, can you put me on the screen, please? Yeah. Put me on the screen, Nick.
Yeah, I'd love to
just imagine the headlines next year. Brandon Marshall, Nick Wright, the only two in America that went all in on the Saints and Jameis Winston. Can you imagine that, man? Let's do it together, bro. I'm telling you, guys evolve. Guys get better. Sean Payton had him for a year.
Instead,
What are you doing,
I'm imagining not the headlines, but the tweets, Wilds. These are the tweets I'm imagining coming from every Tampa Bay affiliated Twitter account in the world saying, here's Brandon Marshall going all in on the Saints as the Bucs win the division by 5 games. I'm imagining those, and I'm staying far away. I'm just backing away from whenever Brandon does it, I'm going to slowly slide off screen. So he's just there by himself, Wilds, and he can have that take to himself.